especially if you got a good group of guys, and everybody's really clicking on the same page, and it can be a lot of fun.
Our thoughts are with the families, and I extend my deepest condolences for their loss.
Found debris indicative of a crab boat going down. No life rafts, no survival suits, no nothing. And yes, it's that destination.
Captain Sig Hansen and his team faced a big challenge in the cold, rough waters of the Bering Sea. They searched the wide sea for hours, looking for a missing boat that carried their friends. As time went on, their hope of finding the boat faded. What could have happened to it in the deep sea? Let us explore the hidden truths about being lost at sea that will give you nightmares. An urgent reminder of ocean risks. The crew of the Good Samaritan fishing boat was busy sifting through the debris from a shipwreck, looking for an emergency beacon.
Right here, some sort of crab pot line or something.
There's a lot of clutter in this area, man. It's all kinds of stuff.
As they picked through the pieces of the wreck that were floating on the water, they eventually found it. The beacon was labeled The Destination, which was the name of another fishing boat. Finding a beacon like this was often a grim indicator of a serious problem. The communication between the ships and the Coast Guard ramped up quickly. They soon confirmed that the destination had indeed sunk. Even after an extensive search in the nearby waters, no survivors or life rafts were discovered. This sad find solidified the worst thoughts about the real dangers tied to their line of work. This event served as a stark reminder of the constant and real risks that fishermen face every day out on the open sea. The ocean can be unforgiving, claiming even the most experienced sailors without leaving any signs. The effort to locate the destination and its crew was not just routine, it was a grim realization of the dangerous reality of their existence on the water. The impact of this discovery on the Good Samaritan's crew and the wider fishing community was deep. Many started to reconsider their safety practices and the essential nature of their jobs at sea. Captain Sig Hansen, in particular, was deeply affected. The tragedy struck a nerve, making him wonder if he should even keep fishing for the rest of the season. The ocean, which had always been a source of livelihood for him and his team, now appeared full of hidden threats. But wait, there's more. These thoughts were less about fear and more focused on survival. Conversations aboard the Good Samaritan turned quite serious as the crew considered their options. Continuing to work at sea meant facing these risks every single day, yet the thought of giving up their livelihoods was not an easy decision to make. As they headed towards the safety of the harbor, the memory of the destination's missing crew weighed heavily on their minds. The decision to possibly end their fishing season early was a difficult one. The travel back to shore was quiet and reflective, filled with deep thoughts about their future, whether to seek safer jobs on land or gather the courage to return to the unpredictable sea, this time with heightened caution. This trip back wasn't just a simple return from sea to land. It represented a significant moment of deep reflection for each crew member. The ocean, once a familiar and comforting backdrop, now served as a stark reminder of the dangers and uncertainties inherent in their profession. This period of introspection was crucial as they weighed the balance between making a living and maintaining their safety. Every person on board, from the captain to the newest deckhand, found themselves reevaluating not only their careers in fishing, but also the essence of choosing such a hazardous lifestyle. The mood on the boat was somber as they approached the harbor. The crew members were quiet, each lost in his own thoughts, contemplating the changes they might need to make. The sea, which had always been their workplace and home, suddenly seemed more daunting. Discussions about safety measures, alternative employment opportunities, and the sustainability of their career choice filled the air. They shared stories of close calls and past storms, reinforcing the reality of their daily risks. Captain Sig Hansen, in particular, felt a profound sense of responsibility. He thought about the families of his crew and the impact of any mishap at sea on them. The loss of the destination was a wake-up call that prompted him to consider whether the risks were worth continuing as they had before. The idea of enhancing safety protocols or even changing their fishing routes was discussed as a way to mitigate future dangers. By the time the Good Samaritan docked, decisions were still up in the air, but the resolve to prioritize safety was stronger than ever. The crew knew that their next outing at sea might look very different. Whether it was adjusting their working hours to avoid harsh weather conditions or investing in better safety equipment, each crew member understood that adapting was essential for their continued well-being and that of their fellow sailors. As the Good Samaritan's crew reached the dock with heavy hearts, the Coast Guard was already getting ready for another brave rescue mission. Coast Guard's most admirable rescues, the United States. Coast Guard is renowned for its many daring and courageous rescues.
We cannot thank the Coast Guard, Fire Rescue, St. August, to everybody. We just want to say thank you so much.
Their range of missions is wide, from rescuing sailors tossed about by tempestuous seas, to assisting hikers who find themselves in trouble, to aiding victims of natural calamities. A particularly memorable rescue occurred in 1952, involving the SS Pendleton and SS Fort Mercer, which were T2 tankers that broke in half during a brutal storm off Cape Cod. Despite challenging conditions, bone-chilling cold, massive waves, and malfunctioning gear, the Coast Guard's small boat, CG 36500, helmed by Petty Officer Bernard Weber, successfully rescued 32 individuals from the Pendleton's severed stern. This rescue is frequently celebrated as one of the most impressive small boat rescues in Coast Guard history. In another significant rescue operation during Hurricane Sandy in 2012, the Coast Guard saved the crew of the HMS Bounty. The Bounty was overwhelmed by the storm, forcing its crew to abandon the ship under perilous conditions. The Coast Guard dispatched helicopters, which braved 18-foot waves and winds of 40 miles per hour, to retrieve the sailors from their life rafts. 14 crew members were saved, though, unfortunately, 2 were lost to the storm. The Coast Guard's response during Hurricane Katrina in 2005 is also legendary. They deployed a significant number of their helicopters and personnel from across the country to the disaster area. More than 12,500 individuals were rescued from flooded homes and rooftops in and around New Orleans. The vast scale of these operations underscored the Coast Guard's readiness and ability to respond effectively to large-scale disasters. Another historic rescue took place in 1898 when the crew of the revenue cutter Bear embarked on an overland expedition to save whalers who were stranded in Point Barrow, Alaska. This mission involved driving reindeer across a 500-mile trek through harsh Arctic conditions to bring aid and rescue 265 men from the brink of starvation. Stay tuned for more. In 1947, the rescue of the Bermuda Sky Queen highlighted the Coast Guard's expertise in handling emergencies far out at sea. The aircraft, a flying boat, was running dangerously low on fuel and had to make an emergency landing in the North Atlantic's rough waters. The Coast Guard cutter Bib was instrumental in rescuing all the passengers and crew, battling against 30-foot waves and deteriorating weather conditions. This event stands as a strong example of the Coast Guard's commitment and ability to overcome challenging situations. Another notable instance of the Coast Guard's extensive rescue capabilities was during the 1937 Mississippi River flood. This massive flood presented a severe challenge, but the Coast Guard was up to the task, rescuing over 43,000 people and numerous animals. The operation spread over many days, involving not just the rescue, but also crucial aid and evacuation efforts. This event demonstrated their capability to manage and respond to large-scale natural disasters effectively. Back in 1918, the bravery of the Coast Guard crew from the Chickamaucomico lifeboat station was on full display during the rescue of the SS Mirlo's crew. After the vessel caught fire and was wrecked, the Coast Guard team faced flames and debris to save 42 men. Their heroic actions were recognized with the Gold Life-Saving Medal, celebrating their courage and quick action in dire circumstances. The Alaska Rangers rescue in 2008 is another testament to the Coast Guard's impressive rescue efforts. When the fishing vessel sank in the Bering Sea, it prompted the largest air-sea rescue operation in the Coast Guard's history. Working in cooperation with the Alaska Warrior, they managed to save 42 out of 47 crew members, showcasing exceptional teamwork and determination in the face of adversity. keep watching to find out more. These examples underscore the Coast Guard's unwavering commitment to saving lives, regardless of the peril involved. Their operations are a blend of skill, bravery, and coordination, often requiring cooperation among various units and facing significant risks. Whether it involves small boat rescues in icy waters or extensive responses to national emergencies, the Coast Guard's legacy is rich with acts of heroism and a steadfast dedication to duty. Over the years, the Coast Guard has consistently proven their readiness and effectiveness in crisis situations, from dramatic at-sea rescues to handling catastrophic floods. Their ability to mobilize quickly and perform under pressure is remarkable, reflecting a deep-seated ethos of service and protection. As we look back on these historical rescues, we see not just the challenges they faced, but also the countless lives touched and saved by their actions. This history not only defines the character of the Coast Guard, but also ensures their respected place in maritime safety and disaster response efforts worldwide. Watching the Coast Guard's courage made the crew think deeply about the important skills needed to stay safe in the face of danger. Staying calm in ocean perils. When you find yourself lost at sea, the most important thing is to keep calm. Feeling panicked can make you make bad choices and wear you out quickly. Keeping your cool helps you think clearly and make smart decisions. If you're in the water, managing your breathing is key to avoid taking water into your lungs. Getting too cold can cause you to breathe too fast, which can be very dangerous. It's best to stay as still as you can until you can control your breathing well. Once you're safe in a raft or lifeboat, you need to focus on a few critical things: keeping the raft afloat, staying hydrated, and keeping warm. If you have access to a raft, get into it as soon as you can. Being in a raft helps keep you insulated from the chilly water, lowers the risk of getting too cold, hypothermia, and keeps you safe from sea creatures that might be dangerous. If you don't have a raft, try to make a temporary shelter to shield yourself from the sun and the weather. Look around for anything you can use, like plastic sheets, clothes, or parts of the boat, to make some cover. This shelter can help keep you from getting too thirsty and from getting sunburned. And that's not all. Water is extremely important when you're stuck at sea. You can get dehydrated very quickly, so finding or collecting water should be a top priority. Rainwater is usually the safest and easiest to collect. Grab any containers you have to catch and save it. You can use things like a raincoat hood, plastic bags, or even your clothes to gather rainwater. If you're lucky enough to have a solar still in your lifeboat, use it to turn seawater into drinkable water. Always keep an eye on the sky and your surroundings for potential rain clouds, as they can be a vital water source. Staying under your makeshift shelter can help conserve your energy and protect you from the harsh sun or cold. If you see any planes or ships, use whatever you can: a mirror, a piece of metal, or even your clothes to signal for help. Try to stay visible and keep your spirits up by keeping busy, like maintaining your shelter or collecting water. Fishing is a crucial skill when you're trying to survive at sea. Often, fish will gather under boats and rafts, which makes them easier to catch if you have some basic fishing equipment. If you don't have a fishing line, you can make one using any kind of string or line you find. For a hook, look around for a piece of metal or any hard, sharp object that you can shape into a hook. For bait, you can use any scraps of food you have or catch smaller sea creatures. Eating fish not only fills your stomach, but also provides you with important nutrients. And in a pinch, the fluid from fish eyes and spines can even help keep you hydrated. Staying warm is also critical, especially if you're in cold waters. Wearing several layers of clothing can help you keep your body heat. It's highly recommended to avoid doing too much physical activity, as this can make you tired and increase your need for water. If you have medication for seasickness, it's a good idea to take it. Seasickness can make you lose more fluids and make your situation worse, and the best is yet to come. It's also critical to try to signal for help. You can use anything shiny, like mirrors or even a smartphone screen, to reflect sunlight and catch the attention of passing planes or ships. If you're equipped with flares or a radio, definitely use them to increase your chances of being seen. Always keep a lookout for any potential rescuers in the sky or on the horizon. Surviving at sea isn't just about physical survival, it's also a mental challenge. It's vital to stay optimistic and focus on setting small, achievable goals to keep your spirits up. Keep yourself busy with tasks like collecting water, fishing, or improving your shelter. This not only helps you survive, but also keeps you from feeling hopeless. Before you even start your trip, preparing properly can greatly improve your survival chances if something goes wrong. Make sure your boat is in top condition and that all the essential safety gear and equipment are working and accessible. Learn where everything is stored and how to use it quickly in an emergency. Surviving at sea is only part of the story. The vast ocean holds many tales of those who were never found and never returned. Ships and planes lost to time. Throughout history, many ships and planes have disappeared while at sea, often leaving behind no clues about their fate. One of the most famous cases is that of the Mary Celeste. This American merchant ship was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872. The ship itself was undamaged and its cargo was untouched, yet there was no sign of the crew. What happened to them remains a big question to this day. Another well-known disappearance involves the USS Cyclops, a huge Navy cargo ship that went missing in 1918 while traveling from Brazil to Baltimore. The ship was carrying over 300 people and a large load of manganese ore. It disappeared without ever sending a distress call, and despite thorough searches, no part of the wreckage or any remains were ever found. But wait, there's more. The SS Marine Sulphur Queen also strangely vanished. In 1963, this tanker, which was transporting molten sulfur, disappeared in the Florida Straits. Later investigations showed that the ship had serious structural problems, which likely played a role in its disappearance. In 1967, the yacht Witchcraft left Miami, and soon after, the captain called the Coast Guard to report a minor problem. But when the Coast Guard arrived, the yacht had disappeared, leaving no trace behind, despite being equipped with life-saving gear and safety equipment. The BSAA Star Tiger, a flight operated by British South American Airways, vanished in 1948 while flying from the Azores to Bermuda. The plane, carrying 31 passengers and 6 crew members, lost contact and was never seen again. No evidence was ever found, and the reason for its disappearance remains unexplained. Flight 19 involved 5 U.S. Navy bombers that vanished during a training mission in 1945. Along with a rescue plane sent to find them, they disappeared, leaving no wreckage behind. This event is one of the most noted incidents associated with the Bermuda Triangle. The Andrea Gale, a commercial fishing vessel, was lost in the North Atlantic in 1991 during a massive storm. The ship and its 6-man crew were never located, despite extensive search efforts, and that's not the whole story. The USS Porpoise, a brig used in 19th century exploration missions, disappeared in 1854 while surveying in the South Sea Islands. The ship sailed into thick fog and vanished. Similarly, the USS Proteus disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle in 1941 with 58 people on board. It is one of several ships that vanished in this region, contributing to the eerie reputation of the Bermuda Triangle. The ships Erebus and Terror, part of the Franklin expedition, disappeared in the Arctic in 1845 while looking for the Northwest Passage. Their wrecks were finally discovered in the 21st century, yet the full story of what happened to them is still being pieced together. In 1978, the Hokulea, a Polynesian voyaging canoe, began to take on water, and Eddie Aikau, a renowned Hawaiian lifeguard and surfer, paddled out on his surfboard to get help. Tragically, he was never seen again, and despite extensive searches, no trace of him was found. These many cases of disappearances at sea continue to intrigue and confuse people, each story providing a stark reminder of the perils and unknowns of maritime travel. Could the disappearance of the vessel in the Bering Sea be just an unfortunate accident, or are there deeper, perhaps darker reasons behind it? What do you think is really going on in those treacherous waters? Share your thoughts with us in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more.